Alrighty. The era of wallet gamers.
A spendthrift, whales, consumers, they go by many names, but I like to call them wallet gamers.
Oh yeah.
You know, the ones that have been assisting the corporations.
You heard of console gamer, you heard of PC gamer, you heard of mobile gamer. What else? What other things? Casual gamer, hardcore gamer. Now we have the wallet gamer.
In their mission to destroy the gaming industry and squeeze it dry.
I dig the funk again, still.
Now some may say to just ignore these whales and that destroying the industry is a bit hyperbolic. But is it? Is it, Brian? Look around you. Can't you see, Brian? Most AAA games...
Bro, I unironically have a friend like this. He does not understand in like the fact that people that spend massive amounts of money on a game, it just ruins the game for everybody else, and he refuses to acknowledge it.
Games are being solely designed for these types of gamers, if we can even call them gamers at this point. That's right, boys and girls, we're coming out swinging right off the bat in this video because I'm sick and tired of these little degenerate weasels stroking off the corporations, buying up all the microtransactions because
Gamba.
I've got the money to spend.
Oblivious to the irreparable damage they're actively causing in the industry. So buckle your seatbelts and grab a nice cold bevy because we're taking the bullet train all the way to Whale City.
Next stop, Whale City, home of the degenerate consumer.
Oh baby.
How much?
That is exactly where gaming is going. It's things like Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, games like these, when they come out, they literally hit the ball into left field, like, and over the fence. Like, no one expects it. And it's just like, ah, yes. Thank you.
How much have you spent on Apex?
Oh God. Okay, let me be real. How much have I actually spent on Apex? I actually have a massive buyer's remorse thing on Apex. And actually, I think this is about oh Jesus. The amount of money I spent or whatever, like, because I have a couple heirlooms, and I think, oh Jesus, I don't even want to admit it. I feel like dog shit. I uninstalled that shit game. Yeah, like, I would probably lean more close to 2K. This was the first and the last game I spent this amount of money on, and I regret every dollar. I wish I could have every dollar back to the fullest. Wait, let me see.
How much have you?
Okay, I finally beat the addiction of buying packs and other things, and with the event of Horizon's heirloom, I have saved up around 14,000 crafting mats, so the heirloom at this time only cost me around $60. But in total, I would have to say I spent in the range of $1,500 to $2K on Apex since the beginning of 2021. So, 2.5 years. So that's less than $1,000 a year on the game. But I broke that addiction. Good. And I know that I won't ever spend another dime in Apex, and I will just use the coins from the Battle Pass. Well, there's your first mistake. You're still buying the Battle Pass. To buy the following Battle Pass and so on and so forth. For all of you out there who need every Wraith skin, you don't. True. You don't need any skin. I have every Wraith skin, both her heirlooms and her prestige skin. Ugh. Jesus. And you don't need it. Get one skin and just stick with that skin. I would argue you don't need any skin, dude. All right? If I ever go back to playing Apex, All the skins are on default. All the heirlooms are disabled. And whatever gun skins I had, because the devs are so stupid, they can't make a good like gun skin. They can't use like the good gun skin and just recolor that one to make it so everyone buys their stuff. I just keep the good gun skins on, and that's it. Because skins don't win you games. Neither do heirlooms. None of that shit matters.
You spent on Apex.
500, 2,000,
Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh gee. Oh my god.
250, 800, 3K on Xbox,
Oh my god, that's probably closer to me.
1.5K on PC,
Oh god, why would you spend it twice? You got the game on console, and since they don't have a cross progression, you spend more money on the PC. Oh my dude. What are you doing? Hovering between 3 and 4K? Oh, that's actually probably close to me. Wouldn't surprise me if I've gone over $4. Oh, Jesus.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. What was wrong with me?
This small sample size was taken from just 2 different Reddit posts where the Apex wallet gamers have come to congregate. And I totaled up the amounts from just these 10 individuals in the replies,
Yeah.
which lands
You could add me in there. I'm probably around like 3 to 4-ish K. So you could probably just add another.
us at nearly $21,000 from just those 10 customers. Now for context, that means if the game were sold at $60 a piece instead, and was
Yeah, but it's not. It's a free-to-play game.
not a free-to-play game with microtransactions, the game would need to be purchased by 333 different customers to reach that same dollar amount. And the thing is, these 10 individuals aren't done spending because the game gets constant influxes of cash shop items weekly. It's crazy to think that when we look at just a small sector of the internet and see this kind of whaling people openly admit to, it's easy to see why Apex Legends has made over $2 billion in its first 3 years.
But here, did any of those posts say that they regretted it at all? I mean, besides the one in the beginning, like I regret every dollar. Like looking back, those were like the worst purchases I've made.
Some publishers like Activision try to have their cake and eat it too, charging the full $70 for Call of Duty
Oh yeah,
and implementing the same free-to-play systems found in games like Apex or Fortnite. And unfortunately, it's worked out great for them financially, with Modern Warfare 2 also making $2 billion, but not in its first 3 years like Apex, in its first 3 months. Now the figures above are rookie numbers compared to the gacha gamers or free-to-play MMO players.
Oh yeah,
easily getting into the 5-figure range per person.
easily.
I think 10K. I'm not sure though. Dude, I think it might be 10K. It's
Oh my god, dude. That is insane. Absolutely insane. $10,000. Was it worth it?
Bro, was this the eyebrows era for ass? Excuse me, Zach Rar.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, look, it's like
I'm gonna stop you right there, bro, before you embarrass yourself even further. But mobile gamers have got everyone else cleared by a mile.
I've also played mobile gaming a lot. Not only do I play a lot of computer gaming, but I play a lot of mobile gaming.
Okay.
Been a part of a game called Clash of Clans, have over 6 figures invested into it.
Jesus. Right? Minus 6 figures.
What the fuck? How do you spend 100 grand on a fucking video game?
But look how cool he looks, dude. Look at all the flame wings and the spiky armor and the skull on the belt and all the red. He looked cool though.
It's almost impossible to comprehend that these people are even real, but they are. And like I said in the intro, most online games are being solely made for them now. And this is why those who say just ignore the cash shop or just ignore the whales are part of the problem. For one thing, you're...
Yeah. If a gacha game has been made, the amount of players, like giga whales, that can support that game as a percentage is insanely small. It really is. Like, I'd probably be willing to bet, less than 3% of players. Like if the whole player base is 100%, it only takes about less than 3% of Giga Whales to support that game's I don't know, servers, day-to-day costs or whatever, so on and so forth. It doesn't take a lot of like players to do that. It only takes a couple.
Already know that that dude isn't ignoring the cash op, and he's probably a whale himself, but also because the cash ops are so successful, this means all the company's resources are focused on battle passes and cash op items. Bugs, glitches, imbalances, lack of content.
All of these things, these are things that regular players encounter. All right? They don't care. Like gacha game developers don't care about like any of this, because all of this gets like squashed when the next big Giga Whale comes up and drops like 100K on their game. Oh, we just got another one, boys. We cast the line out, we picked one up, and now we're good for a couple months. All right, let's go. Time to push back those bug fixes another couple months.
Who cares? We just gotta keep the whales spending. So live service support starts to mean nothing when the support just means infinite cash op updates. With a small side of content. Now you've probably heard of the term pay to win, and many would describe it as the ability to become more powerful in a game by spending real world money. But what exactly does it mean? So many people have different definitions by which they consider a game pay to win. And
okay, so I'll go ahead, I'll give you like the general bland answer of it, what I think. Like if there's a gacha game and there's some sort of way for you to enter the game's store and you can trade your real money, or to turn it into the crystals, to turn it into the minerals, to turn it into the orbs, to turn it into the rupees, and to turn it into the V-Bucks. And then with the V-Bucks, you can buy some sort of item or something like that to affect the in-game gameplay where you gain some sort of power bonus or whatever. Then that is like the general, consensus on like what is pay to win. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of gray to that, because it doesn't have to exactly be some sort of direct, pay to win component like that. It could be like, oh, if you buy the battle pass, you get 20% bonus XP. So you can kind of tell if you level up quicker, you can complete the content quicker, which incentivizes the game developers to make the game inconvenient. So there's also that. What do you call it? There's also that definition: pay for convenience.
so many people have such different definitions of what winning is. Imagine a game with the ability to spend $20 for an overpowered weapon, only obtainable in a cash shop, and not earnable in the game through grinding.
Okay, so for this, it's never really going to come down. Like, it's never going to say, like, $20 for this in-game sword. This is just like an example he's using. It's never going to be $20 to buy the powerful sword. It's always going to be buy the big chest of coins so that you disassociate the amount of money that you spent into some sort of like game currency that you just bought. So that way, when you buy it, you have it, and you got a little left over. So then you're going to go back into the store and be like, ooh, what else can I buy? Ooh, I got like 400 shiny coins left over. Oh, but that other item is only like $10 more. So you spend $10 more and you get, instead of like the triple chest that you just got, maybe you buy the single chest, and it turns out from a $20 purchase into a $30 purchase.
I think most would agree that this is a prime example of pay to win, but some might change their stance if that weapon was then added to the game through 10 hours of grinding to obtain, but also left in the option to directly purchase it for $20.
Mm-hmm.
Is it pay to win or pay to take a shortcut?
Oh, yeah, that is a good question. Buy the weapon or grind for the weapon? It's a good question.
To me, there isn't much of a difference. Being able to obtain power quicker than others simply by swiping your credit card definitely falls under the pay-to-win umbrella. And we see a more complex problem in a lot of free-to-play MMO games with PvP. where paying for power level and upgrades is pretty common, and most high-end PvP matches are determined by which whale spent the most amount of money.
Yeah.
So wallet gamers are plentiful inside these types of games. MMOs, gacha games, mobile games, and paying for shortcuts to power, whether that be through the purchase of raw materials, pay for rerolled items, or even pay for loot directly in some cases. And pay to win certainly has a spectrum from somewhat of a gray area to flat out egregious.
Yeah.
For example, skins in DMZ for Call of Duty that provide players with a UAV on spawn is definitely pay to win.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. This was the most hilarious thing I have ever heard about, like when it was like just dropping. Like the entirety of like Twitter was like lighting up, and like all of the Call of Duty bros are like, "Oh my god, you got to get the battle pass or whatever." And then you get and then you go into the what mode is it? DMZ, where it's like Tarkov but Call of Duty. You just get a UAV and it tells you where everyone's at for a little bit. Oh my god. Like when they did that, I was just like, "Oh my god, thank God I don't play Call of Duty."
But not nearly as bad as what Destiny 2 has become. Now, I acknowledge that Destiny 2 is not the most egregious example of pay to win. There are plenty of examples worse than it in the free-to-play MMO and
I don't play Destiny 2 at all because I just, eventually heard that it's pay to win. So whenever I hear a game is pay to win, I'm just like, okay, I'm disinterested. Bye.
gacha space. But Destiny 2 isn't a free-to-play game, which makes its pay-to-win problems that much worse.
Actually, it is free to play.
Get the fuck out of here, Brian. Everyone knows this shit ain't free to play. Pay to win in Destiny 2 isn't super obvious at a glance, and it takes a bit more digging to recognize it, but both the PvP and PvE have had serious pay to win problems over the last few years, and Bungie are pretty good at hiding its pay to win tactics through its many layers of crafting materials and upgrade paths.
Yep.
A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons in the future?
Yep.
If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100...
And also, another detractor from Destiny is like, the amount of currencies in the game is mind-boggling to me.
modes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't want to see power sold, I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold, nothing. And as long as Bungie does not cross the line of cosmetic items, I think we'll be fine. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
Yep.
And you add these problems on top of selling exotic weapons through $100 pre-order bonuses, and the ability to buy season pass levels, pay to win is very much alive and well inside of Destiny 2. But what about cosmetics? Cosmetics aren't pay to win, right?
It's just cosmetic.
One of the most common phrases wallet gamers love to use in justifying their whaling behavior. But in almost all video games, cosmetics dominate progression systems, working towards unlocking camos.
Or at least they used to.
Or helmets, or skins, emblems, whatever it is. These were all part of in-game progression and in-game achievements.
Yeah, you guys remember, like, whenever you played, like, OG Modern Warfare 2 or OG Modern Warfare, like back in the day, like 2004 or whatever, like, remember like getting a gold gun in that game? It felt so good, because you get 1,000 headshots, get 5,000 headshots, get 1,000 kills, get 5,000 kills, and then that's it. You got the gun. You're good enough. You got the skin. Now you can go flex it somewhere. And then move on to the next gun. And the next gun. And that is what kept you playing. Your desire to go grind the skin. Not go buy the skin and just, completely, ditch that whole game loop. It's ridiculous. It's turned into an era, because like video games, at least to me, it's used to like escape the problems of real world things that are going on for like a person, or at least that's what happened to me like when I was young. There wasn't a lot of pay to win stuff going on, and now the whole era of the wallet gamer, it's like all your issues in the real world are now prevalent in the game. Oh, you're too poor to buy this thing. You're too poor to get like the gold skin. You're too poor to get the gold gun. You're too poor to not look cool. You know, all these things. It's like you're constantly reminded that you're just poor. It's like, well, fuck. I don't want to be reminded I'm poor. If I want to be reminded I'm poor, I'll stop playing the game. So, from that, just go play a different game. It's that simple.
So if instead players can just buy camos, skins, emblems, icons, and even entire armor sets, why bother with the progression systems?
It doesn't affect you.
Really? When the game is designed around earning cosmetics, then having a cash shop sell cosmetics absolutely affects me and the game experience as a whole for everyone. We've seen games like Destiny 2 not even get one earnable armor set in over a year for the core playlist. But
exactly. Why would you bother to play a game if, you know, like at least for me back in the day, the reason I'd play a game is to grind like all the cool stuff, because not only was it a time investment, it was also a skill investment. You know, the more you played the game, the better you got at that game. It was just a byproduct of what was going on. All right, now you can have like Joe Schmo show up in like golden Iron Man outfit with like red flaming wings and sparks and fireworks, and he's like busting out the floss on your ass, and meanwhile he's only been playing for like an hour. All right, it's just not a fun experience.
Loads of cash op sets are added no problem, and Bungie's recent State of the Game blog post cites a lack of resources to make one new armor set to earn. How so? Just take the resources from at least one of those cash shop sets and apply it to the actual fucking game. Saying this shit doesn't affect me or the game is an asinine thing to say. I think of a game like Sea of Thieves, where the point of the game is to earn gold to buy really expensive cosmetics. But why grind for gold if you can just buy better looking cosmetics at the cash shop and the battle pass?
Yep.
I'm sure you have similar examples with games you've played or are actively still playing, and it eventually gets deflating to think about the fact that monetization has become the sole focus of so many of our favorite games.
I will say this to try to defend some of these games. It's like, they're like, when a game is just blatantly pay to win, and even with like all the cosmetics, and there is no form of skill showcase, you know, like a skill trophy type deal, like at least with like, oh, let's go Overwatch example. At least with Overwatch, there's like a ranked ladder, and eventually you'll hit like some, you know, number, and it'll be like top 500 this. I'm Grandmaster, you know, 1000 or whatever. I'm Grandmaster 1. I'm like the tippy top. I'm rank. There's at least like a picture or a badge, or, you know, you get something. You take a screenshot of it, you know? At least there's that in Overwatch. And that's like a form of skill, like an achievement that you can grind towards. At least there's that. You know, at least for Sea of Thieves, I would say, I'd never played Sea of Thieves, but I'm just gonna like rant. Like, there's probably skins that people know, you know, within the community, that, oh, he got that skin. He must have grinded really hard or whatever for that skin. Versus, oh, I see someone with the red and the gold skin. I know that's on the store. I know that person just bought it. All right. So at least there's kind of something that you can do in those games. You know, it's very, very small, but, you know.
But these cash shops and monetization systems only exist and continue to thrive because of wallet gamers. So as much as we can villainize the corporations and greedy upper level managers for modern monetization practices, it's players, or should I say payers, like this, that really has led to the downfall of gaming. And even though the whales are a small percentage of users, they're responsible for more than 50.
Oh yeah, what was it? What'd I say? Less than 3%? Why, it's scary when less than 1% of mobile gamers bring in 50% of the revenue. Oh, so I wasn't that far off. I said less than 3%. It's actually about 1/10 of 1%. Oh my god.
50% of the revenue, even up to 70% in some games.
Oh, dang.
Now, this is a terrible problem because this leads to many more studios to design their games, again, specifically for this audience. Keep games running on just enough life support to stay afloat, but dump all the majority of resources into monetization. It's a vicious cycle where eventually these studios and whales will begin to destroy each other, if they haven't already. And as more time goes on, I've stayed further and further away from live service gaming in general, because wallet gamers, just like gambling addicts and collectors, can't help themselves. They are the epitome of impulse buying and always fall.
Yep. Oh, a weekly reset of the store. I gotta not be a victim of FOMO. I gotta get all the things. Buy. Get my 500 Apex packs. Gotta get my power bonuses. I gotta buy.
For FOMO. And just because they have the money, they spend it, casually destroying the industry, blinded by their compulsion to spend. Truly pathetic behavior. Now I want to shift this video into a more positive direction and highlight some examples of games made for gamers, not for wallet gamers. And first is a recent title, Baldur's Gate 3.
Let's go ahead and read this here, okay? Are there any, this is a question that was sent to the developers, Larian Studios of Baldur's Gate 3, asking about in-game purchases. So are there any in-game purchases in Baldur's Gate 3? They respond. They say this. No. All right. No. Great. No, there will be no in-game purchases in our game. We believe in providing a complete and immersive gaming experience without the need for additional purchases. Enjoy the game to its fullest without any additional costs or microtransactions.
Damn.
I think, guys, we don't get a lot of those nowadays, you know? It's been a while since we've been able to hear this, and it's nice to hear it again. And we had the same thing with Elden Ring, and every once in a while games come out, and they're able to actually be for gamers first. And I understand that this has got a lot of people on Twitter upset, especially people that work at other gaming studios, because they're afraid of being held to the same standard.
Yeah, that was the funny part about that. Like, all the other devs of other triple game studios, they're just like shaking in their pants and shit. Like, oh my god, I hope the gamers don't expect that from us. Well, we don't. Because for the last 5-10 years, you've been giving us shit. You know? I don't even buy AAA games anymore. I've just departed from that era.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a complete package. A game created by individuals and a company that stands by their conviction that microtransactions do not belong in video games. It's no surprise to see it reach over 500,000 players on Steam this past weekend. Now this game is also an interesting case because just like with the release of Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate's release has AAA developers having full-blown meltdowns on Twitter saying that the game is an anomaly and not the new industry standard.
No, this is just gaslighting. The game is not an anomaly. All right, they chose to make that game deliberately. You choose to make your game a live service and ridden with bugs deliberately. Just stop.
Basically lots of empty words and making excuses for why their billion-dollar corporation that they work for can't reach the same levels of Baldur's Gate 3. That it's foolish to believe that this is the new standard, when in truth, these developers are just upset that Larian Studios has upstaged them in every single way.
Yeah.
Again, just like when Elden Ring released. And all I'm gonna say is that a studio like this, that values over-delivery and encourages it, trying their best to satisfy their customers, and reject modern monetization practices, should absolutely be supported. So after I finish this video, I'm going to immediately go purchase and begin playing the game. Grim Dawn is an ARPG released back in 2016, which was brought to my attention in one of my comments a while back, specifically when I was voicing my hesitancy to pick up Diablo 4, and thankfully, I did not buy Diablo 4 and instead took the advice of that comment and picked up Grim Dawn for $6. And wow, a feature-complete, lengthy, and content-rich ARPG experience without a single battle pass or cash shop.
Dang.
And in that time, they've released several expansions for the game, and several more free content updates since then, including a new fairly large update set to launch in just a few months. So if you were disappointed or fell out of favor with Diablo 4, I highly recommend picking this one up. Tunic is a fantastic little game that surprised me more than I thought, and while I haven't finished the game myself, I did watch my wife play through the game at various points, and even helped her clear a couple bosses. And this game absolutely blew away my expectations. I'd always heard it was a good game, but Tunic is truly one of the best games ever made. It's on Game Pass, so please just go play this one.
Nice.
I spoke about BattleBit in a recent video, which I recommend
BattleBit.
checking out if you missed it.
Battle
but I wanted
Beezy.
to bring it up one more time because of what a current DICE producer recently said in regards to Battlefield 2042.
Oh geez.
Obviously, Battlefield and BattleBit are very similar games, and the community has been memeing on DICE and EA that BattleBit is somehow a better Battlefield game than 2042 is.
Yep.
And DICE producer Ryan MacArthur's response was, "Players didn't understand how the specialists were supposed to work. And if you don't understand how something is supposed to work, of course you believe that the old way was better."
Wow. See, this is the mental gymnastics all of these AAA developers have. It's not like they don't know what they're saying. They actually believe the bullshit that comes out of their own mouths. All right? It's not like they're intentionally trying to lie to you or anything like that. They actually believe the things that they are saying. That is how crazy it is.
Yeah. Or maybe, Ryan, you don't remove classes from a fucking Battlefield game, you doorknob. You guys weren't so ahead of the curve and clever with your generic specialist system, okay? Your players just aren't stupid. They saw that you changed the game to actively reject the identity of the franchise in which it belongs. So again, I'm here to reiterate, if you want a proper new Battlefield experience, go play BattleBit. And I've said it before, and I'll always say it, go play a Souls game, any of them. I recommend Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne to start out with.
Nice.
Those two are my personal favorites, but just pick whichever From Software game sounds the most interesting to you and dive in. There are no games that give more high quality content and feel more rewarding than From Software titles. Also, check out some more indie titles. There are so many good indies out there. 2023 in particular has been a fantastic year for indies. Here's a few more recommendations. Check out my last video for some more recommendations. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Nice. That was a great video from November Hotel. Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, they're like going forward, there will probably be other games like Elden Ring, like Baldur's Gate 3, but I would probably be very confident in saying that they will be few and far between, because the current trend is, like you said, wallet gamers, and that's not going anywhere, unfortunately. So everyone is out here just riding the wind, dude, essentially. But we'll see what happens and take it year after year. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Good video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.